quiet morning. I was walking through a library. I was walking past the rows of shelves. Some were arranged neatly with properly titled sections. Others were a little messy, where books were stacked in places they probably don't belong to. And then there were a few other empty shelves, as if they were waiting for something to be placed. As I walked through this, I had a thought. What if a person could be understood just like that? Not just by their name or by what they do, but by different sections of their life. The facts, the stories, the lessons, and even by the parts they are still figuring out. So today, instead of just introducing myself, I am going to give you all a tour. My fellow Cavaliers, welcome to my library. Not just any library, a library powered by Rollo cakes. Right here, you'll see the non-fiction section. This is where you'll find all the basic information about me. Everything here is factual. I am Dhaarini, a 22-year-old studying at UCSC, born into a family where education is so important that the marks are not just checked, rather discussed like national budget reports. You will also find I am not good at any sports. Somewhere in grade 3, I got first place for drawing, and that's the last time. And dancing, may God protect you from witnessing it. So yeah, this section tells you who I am. But to be honest, this is the most boring part. So let's just move on. If you move a little to your right, you'll end up in my favorite section, the fiction aisle. This is where all my adventures are stored. Not the kind where I fight dragons or save kingdoms, but more like spending 3 hours on a single concept and spending another 2 hours wondering why I spent 3 hours on that simple concept. Next, here you will also find the romance shelf. Now this is the most beautiful, yet the cleanest, neatest, tidiest shelf in this entire library. You know why? Because it's empty. Right next to it, you'll find my everyday life shelf. This is where I replay conversations, come up with the best possible replies to the conversations that are already over. Plan my day perfectly, just not to follow it. Here, you'll also find one of my favorite books, a book on Rollo. Because my theory is, whatever the problem you have, 60% of it, let me repeat, 60% of it can be solved just by eating a Rollo cake. And the remaining 40% is for future me to handle. In fact, for once, for my birthday, I got 2 boxes of Rollo cakes as gift. That's when I realized it's no longer my preference. Rollo cake has become one of my personality traits. And that's it in this aisle. So if you move a little further to your right, you'll end up in the reference section. This is where I've stored all my lessons, not from the textbooks, but from the experiences. One of the beautiful life lessons I would say is life is not always all about focusing on yourself. It's also about learning to care. Not out of obligation, not in a formal way, but to genuinely care in simple things, like listening to someone when they talk, checking in when someone is quiet, or being present even when it's inconvenient. Because sometimes the simple act of care may mean more than the biggest achievement you can have. That's it in this section too. So finally, if you follow me to the back, right at the end, you'll find few more shelves, but they are empty. Now usually empty feels like something is missing, but for me this is my favorite part, because this is where everything I haven't learned yet would go. The skills I don't have yet, the experiences I haven't had yet, and the person I am still becoming. Right now, I am just a 22-year-old. Some days I feel like I know what I am doing. Other days I just open my laptop and stare at it. But I am still learning, still exploring, and still filling this library. So if you walk through this library today, you won't find this to be perfect. You won't find things figured out, but you will find real things like curiosity, confusion, overthinking, and of course, a bit of Rollo cake dependency. But I think that is the interesting part, because the best library is not the one that's complete, but the one that's always growing. Over to you, the host.